Hello again. So in this video, we will solve the problem number 8. So this is actually ratio calculations. So this is not so difficult. So you just need to know the formula for the ratios. So for example, what is the formula for the receivables turnover ratio? So it is net sales divided by accounts receivable. So and we can see that in the problem number 8. So we have been given the balance sheet information for two companies, Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer. Okay, so we have been given the cash, short-term investments, so all the assets, total assets, liabilities, common stock. Then we have been given the net sales, cost of goods sold, gross profit, okay, income tax expense, net income, basic net income per share. So these are the information given. So what we have to do, we have to compare the two companies based on these ratios. Okay, so let's go to the solution. So the first thing is receivable turnover ratio, right? So what is the receivable turnover? It is so net sales divided by accounts receivable. So let's go to the Johnson & Johnson. So net sales. So we can see that net sales for Johnson is 82,059. So 82,059 divided by accounts receivable. So find the accounts receivables for Johnson. So accounts receivable net is this 14,481. And so the receivables turnover ratio for Johnson is 5.67 times. And the same way for the Pfizer, so it is 5.93 times. Okay. And the average collection period is equal to 365 divided by receivables turnover. So we have already calculated the receivables turnovers for both Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer. So 365 divided by these 5.67, 64 days. And for Pfizer, it is 62 days. So on average, so Johnson & Johnson collects its receivables in 2 days less than Pfizer. So Johnson & Johnson is better in this case. Okay. And inventory turnover, cost of goods sold divided by inventory. So you will see that the cost of goods sold. Let's see what is the cost. So cost of goods sold for Johnson is 27,556. So let's go. So 27,556 and divided by inventory. So what is the inventory? So inventory is 9,020. So the 9,020. This is how we calculate. And the same thing for Pfizer. And average days in inventory is equal to 365 divided by inventory turnover. We have already calculated the inventory turnover here. So we just divide 365 by this inventory turnover ratio. Okay. And for the Johnson & Johnson, it is 120 days. And for Pfizer, 297 days. So the conclusion is, on average, Johnson & Johnson sells its inventory more than twice as fast as Pfizer, right? And return on asset, net income divided by total assets. So the net income, let's find the net income. So net income is 15,119 for Johnson & Johnson. Okay, so this is, and total assets. So total assets is going to be 157,728. Okay, it is 9.6% return on asset. And for Pfizer is 9.7%. So Pfizer is better than Johnson because they have their return on asset is higher than the Johnson. Okay. And then let's go to the return on equity is equal to net income divided by shareholders' equity. Okay. So the net income, we already know that. And the shareholders' equity, let's see the shareholders' equity. So it should be Total, okay. So total shareholders' equity is that. So this is the 59,471. Okay, 25.4%, and for Pfizer, 25.7%. So Pfizer provides a slightly higher return to shareholders. And the equity multipliers, shareholders' equity, total assets divided by shareholders' equity. So total assets and divided by shareholders' equity is equal to 2.65. And for Pfizer, it is 2.64. So the two companies have virtually identical equity multipliers, indicating that they are using leverage to the same extent to earn a return on equity that is higher than their return on assets. Okay, I think you got it. Now have a good one.